Hi, have you ever emptied your pouch and noticed that the flies in the room drop dead on the floor? You may have a problem with odor. Admit it, your stuff stinks. And if you can smell it, trust me, everyone else around you can smell it. The last thing you want is to go to a public restroom in stall number one, only to hear someone in stall number four gagging. How awful. Well, trust me, don't try just using an aerosol. They're not convenient to carry around, and then usually once you've done emptied your pouch, they already smell it before you even spray the stuff. And then once you spray it, all they get is the scent of poop and oranges at the same time. It's just not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So do what I do. Use a pouch odor eliminator. There's a number of brands out there. They pretty much are all about the same thing and cost pretty close to the same price. But there's really just one kind of main difference from one to the other. Some odor eliminators, they just have just the eliminator in it, and other ones have the odor eliminator plus a lubricant. No, it's not a sexual lubricant. No, it lubricates the inside of the bag. So if you have like thick, sticky output in your bag, it kind of helps things to slide out. You know what I mean? And so I don't find it particularly useful for myself, so I don't bother with the kind that has a lubricant. Plus, it costs a little bit more. But I've narrowed it down to two different ones that are my top two, and then I'll give you my favorite and then tell you why. My top two pouch odor eliminators, the second to the top is called M9. It's just the letter M and 9. It's by Hollister. It works well. It's just an odor eliminator. It does have a blue color to it, so it kind of looks like porta potty water. Okay, I'm not crazy about the color. Maybe a hot pink or neon green would be cool, but the color does help. It helps because you can see how much you put into the pouch. If it's clear, it's kind of hard to tell if you've put too much or maybe too little just from looking at it. So the color does help. But the M9, it works well. It doesn't have any kind of fragrance. Most of them don't, but it just eliminates the odor. However, the M9 tends to cost just a few dollars more than my top pick. My top pick is this one right here. It's just called Stop Odor. Nothing fancy there. That's what it does. It just stops odor. This one is called Stop Odor from Montreal Ostomy Accessories is where it's from. This is an 8-ounce bottle. You'll find that most of them come in an 8-ounce bottle. And you'll also find that the instructions are usually about the same. They usually say to put about 4 to 12 drops in the pouch. Okay, that is not going to get it. Unless your poop just smells like lilacs naturally, mine stinks and it takes a little more than 4 to 12 drops. Just a good squirt or two and it'll do. But this is the normal size that you get. And it usually costs like the M9, and most of them tend to run maybe about $15 to $17 a bottle at most medical supplies. This one tends to run just a little bit cheaper. I can usually get this 8-ounce bottle for around $12. But here's a tip for you. If you're like me, and probably if you're not having a bunch of surgeries or scans or things going on this year, you're probably not making your deductible. And so this is more likely just coming out of your pocket. And so you need to save money. Here's how you do it. Go to eBay. Yeah, you wouldn't have thought of that, would you? You can buy anything on eBay, and you can buy your ostomy supplies there too. And you'll be surprised at what you can find and the cheap prices you can find it at. Some stuff half price, or at least 25% less than what you can get it in a medical supply shop. And so this bottle right here tends to run a little bit cheaper at about $12 for an 8-ounce bottle in most places. But here's your savings tip. If you order off of eBay, you can actually get the Stop Odor Eliminator in a case of 10 bottles, and it drives down the price to only $8 a bottle. from 12 to 8 is pretty good savings, especially when you're talking about using this stuff for years or possibly the rest of your natural born life. And so you want to save all the money you can, don't you? And so that's the best way to get it. eBay and order in quantity, and you can probably save a lot of money. Here's another little tip for you. Most of the companies carry this little size too. This was actually an M9 bottle. You see it's very small. It's very handy. It fits in your pocket well. For your ladies, fits nicely in your purse. But you notice there's no label in this one. The label tends to strip and gets nasty carried in your pocket over time. So I just use a little WD-40 and just eliminated all the label off of it, so it's nice and clean in my pocket. But just order a couple of these, and then don't order any more. Just get a few, maybe two, at least two. And then once you use it up, don't buy another one. Just refill it from your 8-ounce bottle. And what you'll find is this little bottle holds enough, or at least for me, for at least maybe 2 days, maybe even a little bit more of use. When I go to work, I just put this in my pocket. When I go to the bathroom, I just squirt some odor eliminator into my pouch after I've emptied it, and this will last me usually a couple of days. And so it's a great little handy thing. It doesn't take up a lot of room in your pocket, and again, you don't have to keep ordering these. Just refill it. So there's you some cost-saving tips, and trust me, if you use this, it'll also help you extend the life of your bag. Before I started using it, I'd find that sometimes I was changing my bag out not because it was the normal maybe 4 days or so that is usually in between when I change out my bags, but sometimes I would be changing it out earlier only because I was getting an odor starting to come from my bag, and I knew if I could smell it, others could smell it too, so I'd change it out to have a clean bag. But now that I use the odor eliminator, I find that sometimes I can stretch it a little longer, or at least it'll last me the full 4 or 5 days between changes, because the bag doesn't stink. It doesn't have odor coming from the bag. So hopefully this will save you time, save you money, and save your friends around you from smelling your stank. See you next time on the Ostomy Advantage.